Last time on the needle drop.
I got it! I've got the Radiohead leak!
You do? What's the bit rate?
It's at a,
Damn it, man! Subs are hanging in the balance!
It's 96K?
Mother fripp! Was the greatest thing King Crimson had going for them. To suggest otherwise is a heap of bullshit.
Sharona. My Sharona.
Yeah, this was the worst thing I had ever heard in my life. Until I heard this.
And now, your riveting conclusion to the needle drop. Right now. Momentarily. In just a...
So yeah, I'm not really a big fan of this thing. Andy D, songs in the key of magic. It's okay, it's got some funny parts. Maybe if you're in the market for a comedy album, maybe he's really fun to see live. You know, it's decent. Whatever. Let's, I don't know. Let's review another album. Ooh, I wonder what I'm gonna review next. Ooh. Jazz, 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 jazz. I hope it's jazz. Jazz, 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 jazz. I never get to review any jazz. Vreid is a metal band from Norway, believe it or not, and they've been around since 2004, but they are by no means noobs. The members of this band originally came from Windeer, who broke up sadly after the tragic death of their lead singer. And Vreid, you could say they're a black metal band. I mean, they certainly are influenced by that sound. They have the look, but that's not the only thing that influences them on their fifth album, titled V, which means 5. Some people might call this a perversion of black metal, or an alteration of that sound, but I don't see it that way. To me, it's more like a homage to the genre's roots, when in the 90s, all of these Nordic bands were being highly influenced by this rising tide of thrash metal in the West, which is the era these guys come from anyway, so if anybody knows that influence is there, it's them. The wretched vocals and the blast beats that we're used to hearing in this kind of music are here. But most of the time the chugging riffs, the ultra-melodic and technical solos, the flashy drums are what's stealing the show. Another thing that separates this LP from most black metal albums, I would say even Vreid's other albums, are the use, maybe the overuse, of interludes on this album. Now, this is not the first time these guys have done something like this. They've definitely dabbled in that sound before, like on 2007's I, Krig, which was the first time I had ever heard cowbell in a black metal album. Obviously, these guys are not afraid to experiment, to fuse things together. There are even some riffs on this album that kind of reminded me of Motorhead. Sometimes the drums even march a little, and on my favorite track, Slave, the drums even sound like they should be really in a pep rally, as opposed to a metal album. Now, one side of me sees the riffs and the instrumental passages and the clean vocals and just, you know, wonders in my head, should these really be here? Should they be here? Meanwhile, another side of me is admiring the hell out of these guys for really f***ing with the rules. They're clearly writing music that they love, music for themselves, and that passion pours out into the energy behind these songs. The production is great, the guitar playing is pretty good too, the chords, the melodies, the solos are all really righteous, the vocals are powerful, but I do have a big gripe with this LP. And we have to go back to what I mentioned earlier, the interludes. Nearly every song on here has one, and some pull it off better than others. The opening track is a great example of that. But those who like their black metal, or even just their metal in general, hard and fast and hard and fast and hard and fast and hard and fast and hard and fast, may be kind of bored by some of the slower moments here. Plus, there are songs here that really lose momentum once they break into the instrumental bridge, especially when the instrumental, the interlude, whatever you want to call it, stretches beyond the point of being so. It kind of becomes the entire song. That's how long some of these get. Plus, a lot of these changes from one section of the song to the other aren't all that graceful or seamless, though some people like a hard, abrupt shift. But if you're in the market for a metal album that refuses to play into stereotypes, fuses a lot of different genres together with some great sound, energy, and musicianship, then Vreid V. In my opinion, just a lot of it could have been organized better. Sure, you have a lot of these different parts inside of a song, but they don't necessarily come together into a thematic or cohesive unit. I fail to see how a lot of these sections really... I'm feeling like a strong 6 or maybe a light 7 on this thing. A lot of memorable and worthwhile tracks here, for sure. Check out the single from this LP, linked down there in the D box. There's a music video for it. It's pretty badass. And yeah, what do you think about the state of black metal today? Heavy question. Thank you for watching. What should I review next? Keep being awesome. Anthony Fantano, Vreid, forever.